Anybody remember just a few short years ago when transgenderism was still a mental illness? Anybody willing to admit that it still is today? The fact that we glorify the crap hasn't changed the suicide rates. Nothing's changed in regards to how they feel about themselves, their mental acuity. This is a disaster that we've created. Allowing this shit to continue has done nothing but harm other people. If they want to harm themselves, fine, I'm all for it. I don't care. Live your life. But you're not going to convince me to say your words or to act a certain way because you don't like the way it sounds. Now children are being dropped because some transgender somewhere decided that they didn't like life so much that they needed to take the lives of people that didn't even see it coming. And what's more frustrating is they picked a target that had less security. They avoided a target because it was too secure. You know, there's a handout for the Democrats. Wake the fuck up. We've been screaming this shit for years. Put guns in front of the things that matter. You put guns in front of your money. You put guns in front of your houses. Guns are at the banks. Guns are at the grocery stores, protecting food. But we talk about children and all of a sudden we get real sheepish and we don't want weapons nearby. Well, that's exclusively putting weapons nearby kids. That's what that's doing. We've effectively lost our ability to think straight because we're so worried about people talking about being straight and being offensive. This has become a massive issue, and it's going to end. It's going to end soon. I really hope that this country's at a turning point. I really hope we start waking up to the realities of the mess that we've created. These politicians don't want what's best for you and me. These politicians want what's best for them in their pocketbook. Immediately, the White House came out and blamed Republicans for this most recent shooting, without having any information at all. And right out the gate, we find out that that was not the case. We find out that the facts of the situation are that someone who was trans decided to take out an easy target. Someone who wasn't even legally allowed to own guns. Well, how did they get the guns, you wonder? Well, I'd imagine you'd only wonder that if you're a Democrat. Because anyone who's not a Democrat has enough common sense to realize that just because you're not allowed to have guns doesn't mean you won't get guns. Criminals are gonna criminal. The point being that good people should have been there to protect those children with weapons of equal caliber, of equal training, and greater if we were lucky. But they weren't. They either weren't allowed, or they convinced themselves that they shouldn't have been in those positions, that they shouldn't have been carrying a weapon, and that they shouldn't be endangering children by keeping a pistol on their side. And that's ridiculous. One of these days, we're gonna have enough. At this point, fathers, mothers, take your kids out of these public schools. It's a shooting barrel. This system has been created by the Democrats. The education system is exclusively run by the Democrats. And all they have done is create an indoctrination camp. They are successful at convincing your children to think of other things other than what you think of. They convince your children to go against you in every way, shape, or form. They convince your children to change their genders without your consent or permission. California is ready to pass a law to where they can legally kidnap your kids without trial, without evidence. This is getting out of hand. And I'm afraid that if it continues any further, you're really not going to like the outcomes in this country. It's going to get ugly. Uglier than it already is. I don't know what else to say about this crap, but I'm pretty upset this morning, to say the least. I really wish some of you people would wake the fuck up and get upset too. Have a good day.